My name is Banda Lazarus, and I'm the project officer based here in Choma for the DG Eco PP program. So this project is running in 3 districts, and Choma is one of the districts where this project is being implemented. The others are Mazabuka as well as Namngala. On this project, we've managed to implement a couple of activities. Of course, speaking to the 3 main pillars or focus of the project, being one, which is disaster risk management, which is around building the capacity of structures as well as communities in them being ready or being prepared in terms of disaster preparedness as well as response. The other pillar is around the epidemic as well as the pandemic response or preparedness as well as response. The third is simply cash and voucher assistance, where we need to respond to communities in case they are hit with a disaster, and would respond either by cash or using the vouchers themselves. I think these are the 3 main focus of the project. Here in Choma, I think we've managed to implement a couple of activities. I think first we started with a launch. So I think from the launch we dived into activities. I think we first did the enhanced vulnerability capacity assessment, the EVCA, just to assess in the communities the vulnerabilities or the capacities that exist within the communities. I think one of the findings that came out vivid in the assessment was that communities actually lacked disaster committees. That is, at community level, there were no structures that were established for which could actually help these communities to respond, to be able to respond, or them being the connection pillar between the community as well as the district, or them being the primary responders when a disaster happens. We went in as a project to form the Satellite Disaster Management Committee, which is a government structure, an establishment at community level, which is charged with responsibility to manage disasters. We've managed to form 20 satellite disaster management committees, which were prioritized right before we started implementation by the District Disaster Management Committee to form 20 satellite disaster management committees. Another activity that we've done under the disaster risk management pillar is facilitating communities to actually develop the anticipatory action plans. So this also is in relation to the findings of the vulnerability capacity assessment. But under the epidemic as well as the pandemic preparedness and response pillar, we managed to train volunteers in the community-based health and first aid, as well as training the same volunteers in the risk communication and the community engagement, which is RCCE. Of course, in relation to the findings of the vulnerability assessment.
So CBHFA is an integrated approach, okay? Integrated in that it talks about so many issues. It talks about issues on first aid, it talks about issues on disease prevention, and it also talks about issues to do with disaster prevention.
I'm Ngandu Anes. I'm a teacher at Batoka Primary School. I'm a member of the Batoka Satellite as a Satellite Disaster Management Committee, and I'm here in Choma attending a workshop on community-based health and first aid, and also on RCCE. In community-based health and first aid, I've learned that their core is to make sure that we have a health community, and also to make sure that in every situation we have to make sure that we save life. And I've also learned that we have to engage the community in order for us to work well. For every problem begins at the community and has to end in the community.
In RCCE, we have good communication. Good communication where we have been taught to say you have to use the language that the people that you are communicating to understand. Can give an example. You don't need to use jargon language, which like you are in health, you use language terms that people will not understand. So you use the simpler terms that people will understand.
Generally, this is what we've done so far in terms of activity implementation under the ECHO project.